Hello and welcome to News9 show The South Indian. My name is Sudha Sadanand. As usual, I shall bring to you 9 top stories from the South. Let me now begin with the first story. Considering the South Indian is a show which keeps you up to date, this is the latest which is breaking on actor Darshan Togudipa. In a big update coming in the Renukaswamy murder case against Darshan, the FSL report has revealed that Renukaswamy's bloodstains have been found on Darshan's clothes. The bloodstains have been found on a pair of blue jeans and a black round neck t-shirt which Darshan had been apparently wearing on the night of Renukaswamy's death. And these clothes were later seized by the police as evidence from Darshan's home. This is the biggest and one of the most crucial and conclusive evidence found against Darshan in the Renukaswamy case and is bound to increase the trouble for the actor. Now that we've brought you up to speed as to what is breaking in the south of India, our main story today. Andhra CM Chandrababu Naidu alleges the biggest ever land scam by Jagan Mohan Reddy orders investigation. All right, so our focus is on this. Chandrababu alleges biggest ever land scam by Jagan Mohan Reddy. Chandrababu Naidu is like a man possessed. Apart from taking over the reins of Andhra Pradesh, he seems to be more focused on undoing the wrongs of the previous Jagan Mohan Reddy government. After releasing several white papers on the lavish Rushikonda Palace project of Jagan's, the alleged corruption over sand mining, revoking the Land Titling Act, in the latest, Chief Minister Naidu has initiated an inquiry into perhaps the biggest ever land scams in the country after independence. So look at it, I mean, it's almost like more than 75 years. This is what Naidu claims, that this is a land scam which will actually make you wonder or rather gasp with shock, and this during the YSRCP regime. So the allegation goes like this. Apparently, Jagan's government had brought the land freehold policy with an intention of grabbing vast extents from the government and also some assignees who were totally unaware. This is a land freehold policy. Now, as a part of the freehold policy, the YSRCP government had allegedly initiated alienation of lands up to an extent of 9 lakh acres to private people. Stress on private people. According to Chandrababu Naidu, and I am quoting him here, I did not see this kind of land grabbing petitions in the past. The previous government mismanaged the land records and there is unrest among the public on it. In fact, when compared with Telangana, the land records in Andhra Pradesh were maintained very systematically. Now, the Special Chief Secretary, Revenue, Land Registration and Stamps has alleged that freeholding was made in different categories, such as assigned lands, village service, inam lands, lands having certain restrictions, dotted lands, etc., etc. Let's try and understand, what does this mean? What does this land grab scam mean for the people of Andhra Pradesh? And joining me to explain this is senior journalist and political analyst K.S. Prasad. Mr. Prasad, a very warm welcome to you on the show. Namaste. Every day we see some white paper or the other, and for a moment, like we are journalists and we don't hold a brief for any party. It's for the people. When I used to discuss or debate about no capital, which is still true for Andhra Pradesh, it was more about the people of the state. Now tell me something, freehold land, giving it to private people, it has many, I'm shocked. Now leased land is, it could be 99 years, for example, and then you have to once again, extend it. But freehold, I mean, I could get premier land in a premier place, for throwaway prices, and I get to keep it, Mr. Prasad. Don't you think this is a bit shocking, sir?
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to the viewers. Ma'am, you always raise certain topics as far as our Telugu states are concerned, which is which need to bring the original facts to the people around. That's what your motto. Let me join my hands to you so that people will realize what the primary motto of MAM is. It is really evident as far as our AP state is concerned. The Land Titling Act, which is being imposed by central government on an aggregate 200 crores plus, was spent out of 17,000 villages. 13,000 villages Land Titling Act means accuracy has been taken as far as lands are concerned. The remaining 7,000 villages have been left. Apart from that last government, almost 34 lakhs 50,000 people have been benefited with the cent and 1.5 cent lands. And about 17 lakhs 50,000 acres of land is concerned. That is what you mentioned, like Ava Bhumulu, Chukka Bhumulu, and etc.
Yeah.
These lands have been identified by the government, and it has been given to the respect to farmers. Officially, it has been given. And apart from that, the blames what Jagan Mohan Reddy is taking is the lands which was being given to the people of 1 cent and 1.5 cent, which was purchased from the private people, and which was given to the people around. So the purchase related things are concerned, the market price and this thing, the registered document is an evident document. What sort of manipulations have taken place? This is the government, as soon as they step into the shoes of governance, they are buying the time and everything. They are blaming the last government for time survival. Certain period of time they can only survive. This, as far as land disputes like Visakhapatnam is concerned, I've been hearing from 2014 to 19, and their own party people itself, like existing speaker and previous happened to be the ex-minister Ganta Srinivasarao and Ayan Path. Subsequently, as soon as the YSRCP government has come, the in charge.
All right. So, Mr. Prasad, I understand. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, that even the land titling, which of course we saw Babu tearing the passbook and dramatically throwing it away, calling it an attempt by the government to take over land. You know, we have to go back into history, and you know it better than I do, about land reforms in undivided Andhra Pradesh. We know the kind of problems it created. You know, you wouldn't have had outlawed groups, I don't want to name them. I mean, if the land reforms had happened properly in Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Prasad, you and I know, you know, only some states have had excellent land reforms, the others are just like that. Andhra is no exception. My point is, sir, freehold. The word is freehold. How come you give freehold land to people? You know, why are you giving freehold? So think about it. You have a plan, okay, and you mark certain areas where you will give freehold. You can hold, I mean, you are my friend, I will give Prasad, you know, some 100 acres and it's freehold. This, I do not know. Somehow I feel that the entire principle of fairness and justice has been thrown out of the window, Mr. Prasad.
Yeah, I agree with your argument, ma'am. The thing is, if you really recollect the ex-chief minister Jagan Mohan Reddy's Visakhapatnam conclave as far as the investment plots is concerned, that time he categorically announced that the government holds almost 4 lakh acres of land. It is a free, and if somebody wants to invest this thing, they will be allocated as far as you mentioned, like it is 100 acres or 50 acres, whatever you name it as. The government, as long as they hold certain proper lands, like assigned lands and all, then they hold it. Like, it's a matter of fact, they can give to the people who really want to invest as far as proper investments are concerned. But if you really take into the personal land, this government has manipulated a lot of lands and they be given to X and Y, Z. Until and then it is not been proved. Say for instance, he might have given it 100 acres of land to me. In a span of some time, if I would have not made any company over there, then it is a blame. Either Jagan Mohan Reddy or somebody else should take it. But which has not happened. It is only stories which have been narrated by the people around and executing.
See, that is where you're a journalist, and if you gave me a story like that, I said, Prasad, let's go and investigate what happened to this 100 acres which was given to XYZ. What's he doing with it? Why is it free? You know, the chief minister's aunt, son, or see, we've seen enough politics. My whole point is, you saw Rishikonda. Rishikonda is vulgar, according to me. It's vulgar, Prasad. I mean, there is nothing about it which smacks of, you know, this thing. We are talking about a state where the exchequer is running empty. Naidu can say whatever he has to, K.S. Prasad, but he has to build. He has to build now. He needs the money. Therefore, in the budget, because he's, you know, very, very smartly kind of shaken hands with Mr. Modi, that in the budget he was given a good treatment. But every day, what about sand mining? Now, I asked TDP very clearly, do not allege unless you have proof. Show me the paper, show me the proof. In this, they are saying that very shortly, they will come up with papers which will show that this freehold land was not given to a poor peasant or anyone. It was given to sharks, K.S. Prasad. Then what do we do?
No, it's very simple, ma'am. Say, for instance, Amaravati, the R5 zone has been created and the lands have been given to the poor. Today, government has taken a call. R5 zone is not for the poor people and we don't want. If you really recollect, in the 2014 and 19, Chandrababu Naidu itself has allocated more than 2,800 acres for those R5 zone and poor, landless people and all. He himself decided. When some other government is executed, again they have taken it back. Even today, if you really, in the cabinet meeting, they said that and the photos of Jagan Mohan Reddy and the stones, that has been removed. But as far as 50 years interest-free FRBM loans are concerned, for which the Land Titling Act has been implemented by the Andhra Pradesh government, today they're smartly taking all sort of excuses. As you said in Rishikonda, if you recollect Telangana, the Pragati Bhavan, the way it has been made, all sort of executions have been made. But when it comes to other government, Congress has smartly given it to Batti Vikramarka sir and Setakka. As far as Rishikonda land, this thing is concerned, at the time of Ramarao Garu, as the chief minister, he made some cottages. Subsequently, 35 years after it has got fallen, and instead of doing the renovations, what they made is they constructed a big building and etc. etc. In Vizag, there is only circuit house where the governor and the Rashtrapati comes. They used to stay there. Today, 500 crores been allocated. A smart building was made.
Yeah, but Prasad, I'll tell you, Prasad, what are the people interested in? Whether it is Kejriwal or Soren or anyone else, what are the people interested in? Except for politicians, the people are interested in what is called fairness. I know that does not exist in the dictionary anymore. I'm asking you, this man, Naidu, was put in Rajahmundry jail. He was there. Do you think this white paper, one after the other, that Naidu is now releasing, will he take some action against Jagan Mohan Reddy? And even if it is for vendetta, which is very common in Indian politics, K.S. Prasad.
It's inevitable, ma'am. This is just like tit for tat. Nothing else. Kejriwal have been and Kavita have been arrested from almost months together.
Yeah.
What is the outcome? Did they prove anything? Somebody decides, somebody is paid. Yes, they are doing according to their convenience and whims and fancies. This particular government got some tolerance from the NDA. They do according to that. Why in releasing white paper? The sanctity of white paper is very clear, ma'am. All newspapers, they have propagated more than 14 lakhs plus as far as loans are concerned. When it comes to governor presence, it is 10 lakhs. And the smart Chandrababu Naidu is smartly presented, it is 9,64,000 only. What is this? Exchequer is concerned, it varies from figures to figure, thousands of crores. People want smartness. Every day morning paper, 14 lakhs, Jagan Mohan Reddy need to be destroyed as far as political era and career is concerned.
So you think it's vendetta, K.S. Prasad?
He also tried for Chandrababu Naidu's political era.
So K.S.
What is the outcome?
So K.S. Prasad, you think this is just political vendetta and there is no real strength in all this? It's all just air.
Yes. If you recollect, Chandrababu Naidu has been kept in the prison for 57 days. What is the outcome? 17A. Smartly it has come into the existence. Entire Supreme Court bench is about to sit and they will give verdict. Man. The only thing is, previously Chandrababu Naidu used to have some cases. He's on bail. The case got this thing and all. Instead of that, Jagan Mohan Reddy decided to prove that this guy is also having a case in the court. That's it. If you really recollect the land scam, outer ring road, the inner ring road of Andhra Pradesh, there is a huge scam which was taken place, for which Chandrababu Naidu is suspected. Please release the documents, please relieve the outcome means nobody is bothered. 5 years smartly gone for Jagan Mohan Reddy. Again smartly 5 years time buying. They will only blame Jagan Mohan Reddy, looted. क्या लूटा रहे भाई? वो बात तो नहीं बोलेंगे, बाकी सब तो बोलेंगे.
Right. So you are also pretty much saying like me that show me the money, in the sense rather show me the papers. Where are the papers? But there is one thing for sure. I just feel, and it's a gut, that apart from the fact that Chandrababu Naidu has to really overhaul pull him up, with the bootstraps so that, he can do something for the state, because there are also super 6 which is waiting there. He has to fulfill all those promises. There is somehow he is projecting that the coffers are empty, and he's really working hard for the people of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you so much, K.S. Prasad, for joining me in the opening debate today on the South Indian. And the next debate, which is coming up, is Siddaramaiah on a slippery slope? Siddaramaiah faces heat over corruption allegations. Governor mulls ordering prosecution. This comes after the break, and do not miss it, for I have advocate activist T.J. Abraham with us.
This is News9 Live, India's only digital exclusive live stream. For the early adopters, bringing you the news 24/7. For the smart audiences on the smartest TVs. News9 Live. Stream now on your smart TVs.
Joe Biden is not going to be the Democratic presidential nominee.
I made my choice. Kamala Harris. She's experienced. She's tough. She's capable.
I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Predators. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
I am the one saving democracy.
He has tapped into the fear and anxiety about demographic change in the US.
This polarization in the United States. Some people are even suggesting that there could be a civil war.
You are this unable to solve your own domestic problems. You have no right to claim to be anybody else in the world, and we're moving into a multipolar world where the United States will not lead.
This and more. Streaming on News9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
Give it to me, pass. We'll put new glasses in the windows and they keep breaking it. This is the 4th time you are playing football throughout the day. Will you win the world by playing football?
Yes, uncle. I will now conquer the world by playing football. Let's go to Germany.
World's largest football talent hunt. News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
And our second story today, we are focusing on, is Siddaramaiah on a slippery slope? We're asking a question, we are not really jumping to any conclusions. But you know what? It isn't looking good for Siddaramaiah, Chief Minister of Karnataka. The allegations of MUDA seems to be now under the legal ambit. And it's only time when there is some finality about it, whether he shall be prosecuted or not. First up, our focus is on advocate activist T.J. Abraham, the man who had filed a case against Siddaramaiah over alleged irregularities in MUDA with Karnataka Governor Thawar Chand Gehlot, who issued a show-cause notice to the Chief Minister. This was, I think, on the 26th of July, if I'm not wrong. Gehlot said, and I'm quoting him here, "On perusal of the request, it is seen that the allegations against you are serious in nature and prima facie seems plausible. The Council of Ministers met and asked Gehlot to withdraw the notice. The ruling dispensation by this time, had trained its guns on Abraham, insinuating that it was completely unconstitutional and had political overtones. Next, on 5th August, the police filed a charge sheet in an extortion case against T.J. Abraham, and guess what? Resurrected one of the cases which was like this, and it's an old case. Apparently, allegedly, Abraham demanded 1 crore from a Karnataka Administrative Service, that is KAS officer, who seemed to have the same name as me, Sudha, for which a case was registered on 1st of August last year. Abraham also met with Governor yesterday to clear the air, as it were, about the doubts over his integrity expressed by the Council of Ministers as well as the Chief Minister. Mr. T.J. Abraham has joined us. Let me now go across to him and speak about the matter. Mr. Abraham, thank you so much for making the time to join us in this broadcast. You know, I read the newspapers.
Very. Before we continue, before you begin, a clarification to the viewers. I'm not an advocate. I'm an activist.
All right. I'm so sorry. My apologies.
No, it's okay.
It's not.
Everybody thinks. In fact, several courts, including the Supreme Court, as one of the senior judges thought I was an advocate because I was arguing there.
Yeah, you're so good at presenting an argument, so they presume.
Thank you.
You're a lawyer.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Abraham, I've been reading newspapers and also online about how you have reacted to this. You know, when the Council of Ministers met, there have been lots of statements coming. They're saying, some of them insinuate it's blackmail. Some of them insinuate that you have some political kind of agenda behind all this. And I read what you said, but I want you to tell the viewers what you said about how you think Siddaramaiah is now really nervous.
See, the point is, I am not political. It's not that I don't have any liking towards a political party, or I have a dislike to certain things which certain political parties do. That every human being will have it. That is a personal issue. But now when it comes to public interest, there is no dispute that I am not biased in my approach. S.M. Krishna was in the Congress, he is in the BJP, Dharam Singh Congress, Yediyurappa, BJP, Kumar Swamy is JDS, H. Devegowda sir, he is also JDS. I have no problem about any. See, now, yesterday I think, the Chief Minister was talking to the media and saying, I will release the details about Jantakal mining case. Isn't there a case against Kumar Swamy? Then the other case, Shell Company case against Yediyurappa. And everything else I'm going to release. Who is the complainant in that? So when I take up cases against Yediyurappa or Kumar Swamy, those have legal sanctity. Those are to be trusted. When I take it against him, see, in fact, there was an issue where I held a press conference and made an allegation about corruption in some issue against Jagdish Shettar, the former CM. And that time, Mr. Siddaramaiah said, "Arey, Abraham has said it. Once Abraham says it, it's not. There's nothing to worry. It's gospel truth." When Abraham says something about Yediyurappa, he talks about it in the assembly, and he says Abraham has done it.
Right.
When it comes to you, I become a blackmailer. Now you cook up all the stories. I am not going to go to the defense of that allegation by that lady. I would only say this. I am very, very grateful to Mr. Siddaramaiah because he has made my life better and easier by getting the charge sheet filed, because I want the trial to be over quick. Because I know I'm going to get it quickly. I'm going to get exonerated from that charge through the court. However, I beat my chest outside. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. That's why I'm not justifying that issue at all. I'm not even clarifying that issue.
Right. Right. You met the governor as well. Of course, no one knows how long the governor is taking. He's mulling over legal options. Meanwhile, the Council of Ministers and Siddaramaiah's team, as it were, they are also looking at, several legal options. When you first went and this notice was served to Siddaramaiah, when you went to meet the governor, you said that I'm going to seek his sanction under Section 218 of Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita 2023, Section 17A and 19 of Prevention of Corruption Act 1988 for the persecution of the Chief Minister. Tell me something.
Yes. Prosecution.
Prosecution. I've read many, whatever your statements have been. Is the kernel of this entire corruption based on the allotment of 14 alternative compensatory sites in upscale Vijayanagara, Mysore?
Absolutely limited to that. My scope of my complaint is only there. Now, I'll put it very simply to you. Madam, if you are buying land measuring 3 acres and 16 guntas on 25/8/2004, there must be some land which can be called agricultural land or a revenue land, not a layout. Not a layout. If it is a layout developed by MUDA, then you have no right to claim that it is a agricultural land. Now, whose property does it belong to? That's not an arena that I'm going to get into a debate about. That is for whoever it is to approach the civil court and say, this is my land, this was my land, my father, my grandfather, my uncle, my whatever it is. That dispute is outside the purview of this criminal act that I have made. This charge that I've made. Now, 25/8/2004, you buy agricultural land when lands have been, roads have been made, parks have been made, sites have been demarcated, and sites have been allotted by MUDA to different beneficiaries. So, where is the question of agricultural land when you bought it? There was no agricultural land. Then you come to 15/7/2005. There were a limited number of people who had got sites there in that place, and that place is no more Kesare village.
Okay.
Minded. It has become Devanuru third stage layout of MUDA, like BDA layout. Devanuru layout has come out. Now, there on 15/7/2005, when he goes, the list of people who have become beneficiaries of the sites given by MUDA has increased. Now you are going to convert the land, and the DC gives you the conversion. Conversion of what land? Where was agricultural land for you to convert that into
Mr. Abraham, Mr. Abraham, maybe I'm not, but I've been reading this. The history of it goes back to a farmer who said that, it was agricultural land and I was cheated.
That's why.
My uncle was cheated and my mother was asked to just sign papers and she was uneducated. That's where the story began. Yeah.
I have also heard this. I'm not trying to complicate the issue. That is an issue. I've told them. They contacted me. I gave them my petition to the MUDA commissioner. I've asked him to withdraw those allotments, 14. Why? Because 2004, when they bought the land, it was not in their name. It was not an agricultural land. How did they get it registered as an agricultural land? Now, unauthorizedly or unauthorizedly, whatever it is a dispute for somebody to go before the trial court, before the civil court and settle it there. Why haven't they gone there?
Right. Have you tried to meet MUDA commissioner? I mean, there was...
I met him.
And?
I met him.
And?
He was convinced. Okay. I said until 2004, mid-2004, the documents, the PANI, the computerized, the handwritten previously up till 2001, and 2001 to 2004, until this Devraj character sells the land to this brother-in-law, the lands are in the name of MUDA. So where is the question? Now, if I am the owner of the land, it has been denotified in 98. Who is supposed to go and get the entries made in the revenue records? MUDA has occupied your land illegally, but MUDA is legally using that land because in the records they're still there, they're alive.
Right.
You get into the records in 2004. By then the layout was already formed.
Yeah, right. So there is.
Yeah,
so I understand that there is influence. There is great influence. After all, he was Siddaramaiah then. He is the same Siddaramaiah now. It wasn't as if he was a school teacher then and suddenly became a chief minister. So one can see that there is, influence. And before I let you go, Mr. Abraham, do you think that Siddaramaiah is on a slippery slope?
You should ask him. Is he nervous? Because the way he is behaving, and the entire government machinery is operating against one man. Why? See, there, is he involved? I did not have the right to say, in 1998 when the land was denotified, Siddaramaiah had an hand in that. I have no right to say.
Right.
I did not have the right to say. I'm again I'm rephrasing it. I did not have the right to say because it could be somebody's land.
Right.
He was a DCM. Now, but at the end of the day, when the property lands into your house, I will say you had planned that notification to get that land into your property, your family. And for all that, you through till 21, 22, till the land was, the alternative sites were given, you were in different positions of power.
That's what I said, influence, position of power.
You cannot, yes. Now and the most important thing is there are two very crucial meetings of MUDA where Mr. Yatindra is a member.
And he is also, Yeah. So now in this
it's a family affair. It's a family affair.
It's a family affair, like you've said very clearly. There is, of course, Mrs.
1998. If the theft happened in 1998, you are not responsible. But if the theft happened in 1998 and whatever was robbed in 1998 is in your house today.
Right. So thank you so much, Mr. T.J. Abraham. I've decided to have the political spokesperson after I say thank you to you, so that it doesn't become a political slugfest. Thank you so much for spending time. And I'm going to take a break now, ladies and gents. But when I come back, the political voices on the story, Siddaramaiah on a slippery slope, we'll hear.
खेला होगा हर नहले पे दहला होगा टीम बड़ा है स्टेज बड़ा है पूरा भारत साथ खड़ा है साथ खड़ा है गेम बड़ा है ड्रिबल लाइक अ रैप पास 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 सेटिंग अप द ट्रैप kick it hard in the ball chuck there for 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 the ball.
For the very first time in our investigation, we unmasked the killer of Ravindra Matre.
In 5G, we have to stand with the world, and in 6G, we have to lead the world.
Winning a Grammy was an absolutely surreal experience.
Have not quite lived up to their pre-tournament billing, delivering a series of less than convincing performances. With 2 draws and a solitary win.
Your son will be Messi. No studies, just football all day. Go, my son, go. Make my face shine through playing football.
Not only your face, but also the country's. I will conquer the world by playing football. Come, let's go to Germany!
World's largest football talent hunt, News9 Indian Tigers and Tigresses. In association with DFB Pokal, Bundesliga, BVB and India Football Center. Train and play matches in Europe. Register now and fly to Germany. IndianTigersandTigresses.com.
How do you fulfill that promise? Because ultimately expectations have to be met. If you look at the political landscape, is it really changing for women? And what is the inability of the forces that dead bodies surface but not the living people?
Cooking is an act of law.
the first act of love we receive from our mothers in the families.
Modern Indian food is all about contemporary and innovative approach to traditional Indian cooking.
Representation it's also important, you know.
I want to wear this white coat every day and then be a chef.
There are stories. If the name of whiskey is Indri, then there is a whole story behind that.
Cooking food is like a therapy, and eating one is like a pleasure I can give it to myself. With Lounge Nights, I'm on a journey to celebrate and recognize the best food and nightlife establishments in various cities across India.
Radico presents Lounge Nights every Saturday and Sunday only on News9 Live.
Let's do part 2 of this story. This is the story Siddaramaiah on a slippery slope. We're asking a question. In the first section, we spoke to activist T.J. Abraham, and now it's the turn of political voices. Meanwhile, the Chief Minister has already weighed all the legal options in the case, even as the BJP is relentless in its pursuit to nail him in the MUDA scam. Of course, the foot yatra was yet another attempt by the BJP to escalate the issue. Now, on the other hand, Governor Tevarchand Gehlot is also mulling over his options, whether to prosecute an elected Chief Minister over corruption charges or not. If you may recall, it was just a year ago when the Congress in Karnataka had thumped its chest when it brought down the Basavaraj Bommai government and on charges of 40% Sarkara. Will MUDA prove to be Siddaramaiah's Waterloo? Let's debate. We have two guests, Satya Prakash, who is spokesperson for the KPCC, and Surabhi Hodigere, who is spokesperson for the BJP in Karnataka. A very warm welcome to both of you, and thank you for being so patient, and even as the first guest ended. Satya ji, welcome, good to see you. You know, Satya Prakash ji, the thing is that we know the issue, we've spoken about it many times. I'm just going to speak about the man that Siddaramaiah is. Strong, seasoned, has weathered many a storm. There is no doubt about it. But today when you see him, you know, he looks very weak, he looks very shaken. He is talking about, oh, I'm a backward, that's why I'm being targeted. That was weeks ago. Then he talks about, I will say everything about Kumaraswamy, or I'm going to reveal everything about Yadurappa. You know what? His nervousness is now showing on his face. Also the legal options, because my sources tell me that much like Arvind Kejriwal, who helmed the affairs in New Delhi despite him being in jail, Siddaramaiah is also thinking about those. So your turn, Satya Prakash ji. Please open the debate for the viewers. Thank you.
Good evening, Sudha.
Hi.
We need to understand that Mr. T.J. Abraham is a known blackmailer who has many cases against him. We also need to understand that today Mr. Siddaramaiah is an Ahimsa Chief Minister who has become the voice of the voiceless, the champion of the discriminated communities in Karnataka who are up to 80% of the total population. The castes and the communals in the state are, shocked. How can a man from a deprived community become CM second time, and that too for the next full term? So these castes and communals are hell bent in bringing a blot to this Ahimsa Chief Minister. The governor will have no prima facie evidence, I will tell you, in giving permission for prosecution, because when Mr. Hansraj Bharadwaj gave permission to Mr. Yadurappa, there were 14 to 15 cases against Mr. Yadurappa.
But apparently Siddaramaiah said, very good, very good. That's what Mr. Abraham tells me. That when this happened, he said at that time Siddaramaiah was very happy. So it's a kind of holier than thou. If it happens with me.
Give me time, Sudhaji, I will tell you. There were 14 to 15 cases against Yadurappa, and the Lokayukta had indicted the sitting Chief Minister at that time. The Lokayukta court also had indicted. There were Lokayukta reports. There were so many reports indicating in the Prerna case, Mr. Yediyurappa the money trail was there. Crores of rupees went into his Prerna trust, which Mr. Yediyurappa had. But
tell me, okay, Satya, tell me.
A money trail. How can you put a PMLA for Siddaramaiah?
Right.
Siddaramaiah's wife, Srimati.
That's what Kejriwal says. Where is the money trial? Kavita also says, where is the money trial in the Delhi liquor excise scam? But they are all sitting in jail. That's another conversation. I want to ask you, Satya Prakash, do you agree, if you see the papers, that the MUDA did allot alternative sites in upscale areas of Mysuru, and Parvati was one of them who received it?
Upscale sites was not only allotted to Parvati Siddaramaiah, there were hundreds of people who were
of course,
allotted.
You are right. You are 100% right. Satya Prakash, you are 100% right.
Give me some time.
But Parvati was part of it, and she is the wife of Siddaramaiah. Siddaramaiah was influential then. Go ahead, Satya. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take your time.
Srimati Parvati Siddaramaiah didn't tell, give me only Vijayanagar. Show me a letter which shows that Parvati Siddaramaiah asked that I need an allotment only here. What she said was, for the 3.16 acres that you have observed from me, you please give justice, give me alternate sites or give me that land back, is all she has asked. Show me one letter from Siddaramaiah or Siddaramaiah's wife asking
you don't need a letter. I'm your friend, no, Satya Prakash. If I come to Bengaluru, I have to take your name. I will get a lot of discounts, I'm sure. Come on. You are an influential man. You are my friend. You don't have a paper or anything like that. Let me come back. Satya, wait a minute. Let me say a namaskara to Surabhi Hodigere. Surabhi ji, thank you so much for joining us. Surabhi, the thing is that so far it seems, because Siddaramaiah is a very intelligent man, and with his council of ministers, he's been conferring. On the other hand, Mr. Gehlot has also been looking at legal options, but so far it seems that Siddaramaiah is on a good wicket. What would you say, Surabhi ji?
Well, the question before us today is whether he's on a slippery wicket. I will argue for the motion. And the point here is that what Mr. Satya Prakash started off with, which is that let's not shoot the messenger, let's not shoot the whistleblower over here. Mr. Abraham's complaint, let us look at it in the in a fair manner. That's number one. Second, this accusation that we are going after somebody from a marginalized community, if that was so true, then the Valmiki scam would not have happened. You would have had extra vigilance about money that was going to the ST community. So please don't play that card. I want to give you 8 reasons why I believe that the CM is on a slippery wicket today. First and foremost, the cabinet could have very well said, yes, all right, prosecution. We will allow for that to happen, but for political reasons, they did not allow for that to happen. The second one is playing the caste card, which we saw across. I've never seen Siddaramaiah play the victim caste card as he did in this scam. Okay. The third is that the press meet, when he did a press meet after MUDA discussion was not allowed in the assembly. Not allowing it as a discussion in the assembly is also one thing to show that he's on a slippery wicket. The press meet that he did, give the same documents to the prosecution investigation agency and handle this judicially. But he doesn't want to do that. The fact that there were so many meetings held in Delhi, the fact that the High Command has gotten involved, the fact that there is this vengeful sort of attack, which is that, oh, you're going to reveal something about me, I'm going to reveal something about you.
So said Surabhi, that's all. But I mean, I'm sorry, but we have to really, be quick about it because I have very less time. But Surabhi ji, your first point, I'm so sorry. It really makes little sense to me, and I'm saying it with a lot of apologies, Surabhi ji. He said, oh yeah, prosecute me. Who does that? Name me one.
That's absolutely true.
I mean, where are we living? This is not 1946 or 7 where we had a Mahatma Gandhi who would say, slap me on the other cheek. We are living in 2024. Which politician says you want to prosecute me? They fight tooth and nail, no? Surabhi ji?
A politician who is actually unafraid that they have done nothing wrong says prosecute me, Sudha. The fact that the chief minister is hiding and saying no, what is this prosecution? What is this, what is the governor asking for? Permission to prosecute. This doesn't mean that the chief minister...
No, the messaging is there. Surabhi ji.
There is a chief minister in Delhi sitting in jail.
Let's not be naive. let's not be naive, Surabhi ji.
And on the Lokayukta complaint and there being, or the investigation against Mr. Yediyurappa, the investigation against other chief ministers, there are two types of precedents over here. There are people who have had investigative agencies give certain evidence and then the governor is asked to prosecute, and there are people who have
You remember
not received.
Ishwarappa? You remember Ishwarappa? You know how many months it took he was sacked. I mean, it took months to tell him, please leave now. It's high time. So politicians don't, kind of really bend easily. Let me go to Satya Prakash. Satya Prakash, you have any responses to Surabhi Hodigere?
See, first of all, we need to understand that for every Tom, Dick and Harry case, you need not go to the governor. There are so many mechanisms within. You can go to the court, you can go to Lokayukta, you can go to the police station and file an FIR. If every Tom, Dick and Harry in this state goes to the governor without any proper proof, what is the prima facie evidence? Let us look at this case. Today, the land belongs to Srimati Siddaramaiah, Parvati Siddaramaiah. She is more than 18 years of age. She is an individual on her own. If you have any problem, you have to go to her. The prosecution should be on her. You put a case on her. What has the chief minister got to do with it? Has the chief minister allotted the land to them?
Yeah,
it
it's
is
because
BJP
of chief
government,
minister.
Mr. Bommai, who has allotted the land to them. So
Parvati ji is innocent. She's a housewife. No, she's a housewife. She's not even aware, poor thing, that what is going on. I am just asking, it is Siddaramaiah's influence. You can't deny that, the market value of these sites in Vijayanagara is allegedly higher than the original land in Kesare. That's what is the thing. The land which was originally there, it was taken from Mrs. Srimati Siddaramaiah, and the land which was given back to her is of great value. And Mrs. Siddaramaiah has no knowledge of this. Mr. Siddaramaiah, yeah, of course, MUDA. I am not saying that Siddaramaiah dragged the land and gave it to his wife. But
Sudhaji, who did this? Mr. Bommai did this. The
and
BJP
what was
government.
very correct, Satya. But what was Siddaramaiah at that time? What was Siddaramaiah at that time?
If at all the governor should give prosecution should be given against Mr. Bommai, because he is the one who has allotted the land. What has Mr. Siddaramaiah or Siddaramaiah's wife got to do with it?
Yeah, but what was Siddaramaiah? Surabhi, come here. I saw you raising your hand.
Yes.
Tell me. Yeah.
My question here is it not a matter of fact that the chief minister in his affidavit in 2013 mentioned this particular parcel of land, and he mentioned it at a lower price than what its actual value is? That's number one. Second, the person who had come here before us, Mr. T.J. Abraham, is it not true that he went to the Lokayukta in Mysore before he lodged a complaint with the governor? The 2 points that you have made have fallen absolutely flat. And that is the truth of the matter. Did he not go to the Lokayukta court? Absolutely, he did. Why are we bringing Siddaramaiah? Why is the integrity of the chief minister being questioned over here? It's because this, in his election affidavit, this parcel of land has been mentioned under his spouse's wealth. Therefore, he is under investigation. And of course, all the other arguments that Ms. Sudha made just now, which is that he is the chief minister. The arguments that have come up with the Congress camp.
Right. So I've completely run out of Surabhi, I have to move on, but not before I tell Satya Prakash ji that, to have this huddle that you're having, you're right, you can have a huddle. Then to say Abraham is a blackmailer, and then to say it's a political vendetta, you know what it smacks of? Guilt. So it's much better.
There are cases against Mr. T.J. Abraham. I am not saying this. There are existing cases. A KS officer lady has said he has demanded 1 crore rupees.
Sudha, I know. But that is an old case. No. Why are you resurrecting a case which is 1 year old? Why are you resurrecting a case which is 1 year old, Satya? Think about it. That happened in August 23. We are sitting in August 24. Come on, let's be fair here.
It's a decision taken by the prosecution,
not the government. But one thing is clear, and I will stick by it. This is going to be Siddaramaiah's Waterloo. It is not.
No,
it is going to stick.
Don't worry.
It will.
People are behind Ahinda leader. People are behind the voice of the voiceless, the discriminated communities who form 80% of the population.
All right, I have to move on. Thank you so much, Satya Prakash ji. My apologies to Surabhi also. That's all I have time for. I have to move to Wayanad. Thank you so much, both of you. And death toll in Wayanad landslides rises to 412. Over 178 people missing as relief and rescue operations continue unabated. That's the story. Wayanad limping back to normalcy, and thank God for small mercies. The search and rescue operation entered its 9th day in Wayanad today. The death toll in the landslides now stands at 412, with over 178 people still missing according to latest reports. Amongst other things, the rescue teams are now focusing on the forested areas in the region. Meanwhile, the state government decided to involve families of the missing people and also local villagers to aid in the search operations. A special team comprising 6 army personnel, 4 SOGs, that is Special Operation Groups of Kerala Police, 2 forest officers and a dog squad led for the Sunrise Valley of Sujipara waterfalls in Wayanad to carry out yet another search operation. As per the Agricultural Department, 310 hectares of agricultural land have been destroyed in the Churalmala, Attamala and Mundakai areas of Wayanad. According to reports, 50 hectares of cardamom, 100 hectares of coffee, 70 hectares of pepper, 55 hectares of tea, 10 hectares of coconut, 15 hectares of areca nut and 10 hectares of banana crops have been totally washed away. What a loss. Even as people and neighbouring states like Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Karnataka have opened their coffers to contribute towards the great tragedy, leader of opposition and former MP from Wayanad urged the centre to declare Wayanad landslides as a national disaster and enhance the compensation for the affected people in the Kerala district. Listen in.
Congress family would like to commit to build 100+ houses here. Of course, it is a terrible tragedy. I think Kerala has not seen this type of a tragedy in one area. And I think I'm going to raise it in Delhi and also with the Chief Minister here, that this should be treated differently. This is a different level of tragedy and it should be treated differently.
The entire nation is speaking about heartbreak for Vinesh Phogat at the Paris Olympics, loses medal after being disqualified for being overweight. That's the story. Heartbreak for Vinesh Phogat, not only for her but for all of us, I guess. India woke up to a shock and rued over the fact how things changed drastically from last night, when the nation had erupted in a celebration when Vinesh Phogat had scripted history by becoming the first Indian woman wrestler to reach the gold medal bout in Paris Olympics after defeating world and Olympic 50 kg champion Yui Susaki. That was how Tuesday night looked and felt. But this morning, the nation was shaken when news filtered in that Vinesh Phogat was eliminated for being overweight ahead of her final bout against US Sarah Ann Hildebrand, scheduled for today, that is Wednesday. As per the process at international wrestling bouts, Vinesh was found to be overweight by exactly 100 grams during the weigh-in this morning, according to Indian women's chief coach Virender Dahiya. The official statement said, and I am quoting it here, the Wrestling Federation of India, that is WFI, Sanjay Singh, and the IOA officials are in touch with the International Olympic Committee, that is IOC, and the United World Wrestling, that is UWW, over the issue. Last night, Vinesh's weight was up by 1 kilogram. We and our personal support staff worked to cut it down. Unfortunately, it was slightly above the limit. What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that Vinesh will return to India but without any medals. More than anybody else, her years of dedication and commitment seem to have come to naught. The most heart-wrenching moment was when her father, Mahavir Phogat, was seen controlling his tears on his daughter's disqualification.
देखिए कुछ कहने के लिए कुछ बचा नहीं मेरे पास, जो आस थी सारे देश की थी गोल्ड मेडल पर, और नजदीक जाके वो तो डिस्क्वालीफाई कर दी। सकती। मैं तो माँ बाप मेरे को तो दुख है, लेकिन सारे हिंदुस्तान को इस चीज़ का बड़ा दुख है, जिसने पूरी आस उम्मीद थी जो गवर्नमेंट लिखी है और वो न जी जा करके जो हो गया, तो सारे देश को दुख है चीज़।
Vinesh received several messages of his encouragement, and amongst them from the Indian Prime Minister, who said, Vinesh, you're a champion among champions. You are India's pride and an inspiration for each and every Indian. Today's setback hurts. I wish words would express the sense of despair that I'm experiencing. At the same time, I know that you epitomize resilience. It has always been your nature to take challenges head on. Come back stronger. We're all rooting for you. There is no doubt, ladies and gents, that a disqualification has driven a deep sense of disappointment and sorrow amongst all Indians. But then, how does one wrap one's head around this mishap? After all, this wasn't an ordinary school bout. This is Olympics. Without sitting on any judgment, as the final word on this is yet to be out, one wonders what the team was doing as the coach and the physio pretty much orchestrate an athlete's life. Perhaps sooner rather than later, we will get an answer. And as promised, I leave you with some of the other top headlines from the south of India. Take a look. Namaskaram.
Fast.
My God, isn't she your daughter?
Yes.
She's playing football. This is boys' game. Make her study. If she doesn't get a good job, she will get a good match.